All right, let's do this.
Welcome back to Guff Stuff Weekly Podcast. I'm Javen.
I'm Guff, and who's here? There's a guest. There's a guest today. He won't say nothing, but
we have a silent. Believe us, there's a silent watcher in this room.
Yep, we're being creeped on right now.
He's telepathically communicating to us.
Mm-hmm. So we'll fill in stuff for him. It's fine.
Yeah. Today we're going to talk about board games.
Oh.
We've talked about RTS games. We've talked about FP. No, we haven't talked about turn-based strategy, RTS.
Yeah, I don't think we talked about FPS yet. I mean, we've delved on
Tabletop role-playing we've talked about.
Yep.
We haven't dabbled too much in board games.
Oh, a little bit maybe. I don't remember.
I want to talk about some of our favorite board games.
Okay. Can't believe I don't have my game over there.
Yeah, that's pretty sad.
It is.
Oh, and as a bonus, I want to cover party games as well.
Oh, yep. Party games are good. Oh, yeah, I got a copy right there. I'll just open up. We'll play it.
Oh, let's open with party games.
Okay.
My favorite party game is, well, there's two of them. I like Cards Against Humanity.
Ooh.
It's a wild one.
Yep. Apples to apples. That'd be my...
Apples to apples. Okay.
It's a very similar game, just not adult.
Yeah. It's the...
Very hard to have implications of giant stuff.
Is this a family-friendly podcast?
Well, I mean, it's family
I
friendly.
guess we haven't explicitly stated
we've had other words and stuff. I think it's a neutral podcast, so
okay.
I mean, if we delve into something a little critical, let's just try and stay away from rated X stuff. How's that sound?
How about rated R?
I mean, today's rated R.
It's going to tell you whether or not I'm going to tell you about my second favorite party game.
Okay, what's your second favorite party game?
It's called Categories.
Oh, yeah, I played that.
It's a drinking game. It doesn't have to be.
Right. Okay. Yep.
We always played it as a drinking game.
Okay, that's okay. Fair enough.
And it's basically you write up a bunch of categories of like different mini games, and you draw cards, and then based on what card you get, you play that mini game for that round.
Right.
Losers take shots. Winners.
Gotcha.
Blah blah blah.
Interesting. That's a good way. That's an interesting way to play that game.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. I've never played it that way, but I'm not much of a. My party games are a little different than yours, so.
Yeah, that's fair. Anyways, board games.
Yep.
So let's talk about. Actually, would you consider like Hungry Hippos to be a party game?
No.
It's not really a board game.
A party game for me is a game that you can play with 2 or 10 people. And I think, like you said, Cards Against Humanity, Apple to Apples, Exploding Kittens, Coup. I think them are all party style
More
games.
Of a party style
games. And the party game should also not be something that goes on for 3 hours.
Or like Mafia is another good one. Werewolf.
Right, yeah. Yep. One Night Werewolf, yep. They're games that usually you can play within 15 minutes.
Yep. It's a self-contained game.
Constantly refresh, and that way
it happens quick.
People are coming and going. I gotta go get a beer. I gotta go get a beer.
Round,
yeah.
Beer pong is another party game.
Yes, I would. Yes, party games are. I say games that are quick that you can play that everybody enjoys.
Okay, that's fair.
They don't have to. Not everybody has to enjoy it at the party or in the group, but you can have people come and go, and it doesn't hurt the gameplay.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. So let's talk about board games.
Yep.
I just wanted to get party games out of the way because it's like a etc. thing.
Right.
Some of your favorite board games.
Oh,
there's a lot.
Yeah, I love my. Gosh, I like to say that my favorite board game of all time is Dungeon, and for many reasons. It's an older board game from probably late 70s, early 80s, but not a lot of people know or even play it, and I have to try to convince people to play it. And once they do, they like it. Don't get me wrong. But
I played Dungeon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if I had to pick a game that everybody knows that I just love and I won't usually turn it down, and that doesn't mean you have to ask me to play it today. But I generally won't turn it. Oh, you could because I don't have a copy here. Scrabble.
You like Scrabble?
I love Scrabble.
I like Scrabble.
I'm not good with the big words, but I, for whatever reason, just love Scrabble.
Scrabble's fun.
Scrabble, Boggle. That's
Boggle's really one of the word
stupid.
Games,
It's noisy, too noisy now for me. But
they're probably not as fun.
No, probably not. I love Scrabble. I could play Scrabble with anybody, anytime, anywhere. I really just don't care. Scrabble's fun for me.
Yeah, I like that. I do like card games a lot too. Like anything.
Oh yeah, like cribbage and
cribbage. I'm more of like a
pinochle,
spades.
Yeah, spades, hearts. Oh,
I love the trump taking games.
Yeah, whist. Trump games.
Euchre.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I guess, yeah. Board games board game is a dungeon. Scrabble is probably the easiest one to tell people.
Bridge. I didn't learn how to play bridge.
Never learned how to play
bridge.
Really
hard.
I didn't really like Pinochle either, but
if you can play bridge, you can play Pinochle, spades, and hearts. But it's like the difficulty goes like hearts, spades, Pinochle, bridge.
Well, and then the asshole level goes up too.
Yeah, bridge is wild.
I think that's probably why I don't like some of those games, because you really got to be ruthless when you start getting up into some of those. Like
no tabletop.
Hearts and hell and stuff like that. Yeah, you gotta kind of be a little ruthless, but you don't have to be to win the game.
I think spades is where the line it's drawn.
Yeah, that's the cutoff.
When you start getting your teams, then the line.
It's like, oh man, then you gotta.
I guess like, God, what's my all-time favorite board game? I have to think about this one a little.
There's a lot of new games I love, and I would love to play all the time. You know, like I played Charterstone.
That's a very fine game.
Really fun game, and I really wish I could get another 6 people together to just play Charterstone and enjoy it again. I know it won't be the same for me as it was the first time we played, because I know a lot of the stuff that happens in it. But I don't know everything that happens in it, because every time you play it turns out different. So,
all right. So I have like 3 that I'm kind of tied between.
Shoot.
First one we've been playing a lot lately. Scythe.
Yeah.
I love Scythe. It is a phenomenal game.
Right.
So many moving parts.
I should play that someday.
So much going on. So much tactics to play on.
Right.
So many different combinations of plays. And it's not very cutthroat at all. It's
because I think the cutthroat part is you don't get to choose your faction to begin with.
Nope.
So you can't even plan it out from the beginning.
Yeah, you have to formulate your plan as you play.
Right.
The only cutthroat part about it is combat.
Right.
And combat isn't even that crippling if it happens to you and you lose.
Well, unless you're Gamer Joe.
That was a rare scenario.
Gamer Joe got screwed pretty good.
My other one, I like Munchkin a lot. And that is a cutthroat.
That's a brutal game. You have to have a bunch of people willing to be brutalized.
You better be thick-skinned and ready to frickin' rumble.
You gotta be thick-skinned to play that game.
But
that's probably why I don't like it as much as I should.
See, I'm an absolute monster when I play Munchkin.
Oh yeah, and you almost have to be. It's like I don't mind playing it, but because of the groups of people I played with over my life, there's some in my groups that my regular groups. I'm not talking the store groups. Store groups are completely different. But my family groups, most of those are just about going to family's house and having fun. And when you start hurting feelings in other people's homes, then it's not fun anymore, because people are getting upset and mad and throwing crap. And so things like that generally aren't played anymore.
Yeah. My other all-time favorite it's kind of a party game, but Resistance.
Yep.
It's more of a party game, but
right. Yep.
I consider it a board game.
Yeah.
Kind of still.
Well, anything you play on a table is pretty much a board game, right?
It's just a lot of nerds yelling at each other.
Yep.
And it gets intense.
Yep.
A lot of accusations. I get pretty boisterous when I play Resistance.
Yep. Yeah, well, that's what the game's about. There's a lot of games in that genre that do that, and well, not a lot, but there's getting to be more.
Yeah.
And yeah, you gotta have that killer instinct to play those games. Like the person across the table or sitting next to you, well, they're not necessarily your friend. And
yeah. Even if they are on the same team, they might not be your friend.
Right.
And you got to convince them that they are your friend.
Right. Yeah. No, they're fun games for sure. I just don't get to play them. I don't play them as much as I could or would or should.
Some of the other greatest hits. I like Talisman a lot.
It's a fun one. It's a long game. So I would say there's probably a lot of games that I really love that people play wrong. Okay. That turn games into very long games.
Yeah.
And when you don't play a game properly, and you look at the edge of a board game box, and 99 times out of 10 for the last 50 years, they tell you the number of players and approximately how long it should take. That's just how it works.
Yeah.
And you say, take a game of Monopoly, for instance.
Yeah.
And you look at the side of the box, and I don't have a Monopoly game in here to show you, but it probably says 30 to 60 minutes. That would be my guess. Has everybody played a game of Monopoly that took that long? No. One of two things happen. The game ends over in 15 minutes because someone screws somebody and gets mad and flips the table or just storms out. Or two, the game goes on for 12 hours.
Hasbro states that it's basically like 60 to 90 minutes.
Okay. Well, so I wasn't too far off, but you don't ever play that long. You're either over in a half hour because everybody's mad, irritated with each other, or you play so long that everybody's tired and needs to go to bed.
Yeah.
And the same thing with Risk, same thing with Axis and Allies.
Axis and Allies is just a long game.
Well, it is a long game, but if you play by the rules, stated not, as in you would imply, if you just play by the rules, the same thing with trading card games. You play Spellfire or Magic by the rules, you can generally go through a lot of games in a short period of time. Yeah. But if you play by house rules, which is fine, I mean, everybody, you can house rule the crap out of things.
Well, it's the whole reason the timer was invented for chess.
Right.
It's the age-old problem.
Right.
How long is too long to think about something?
Right. No, yeah, it's so... Yeah, a lot of those games I would love. Like, I like playing Talisman. I think it's a fun game. I just unfortunately think that there's too many house rules that people make to keep everybody happy.
Yeah.
You know, like if you I don't know. That's just my personal opinion.
So let me go back to Scythe for a second. So the cool thing about Scythe is that in all the games I've ever played, I've never had them go more than like 2 hours.
Right.
And it's, if you're learning the game with like brand new players, it's about 30 minutes per player.
Right.
Once you've played once, it's about 20 minutes per player.
No, that's not so bad.
It goes pretty quick.
Right.
The game only goes like 22 to 25 turns.
Right. That's not so bad.
And each turn for each player can take between 5 seconds to a minute.
Right. I think how long someone thinking about it, or how many different things they got to do at the table. Yeah, no, maybe that's why I like Charterstone so much.
What's that?
Charterstone had that you play 12 games. It's a legacy style game, which is a whole other subject. But you play 12 games, and you have there's a finite number of turns in a game. You literally can't play longer than the X number of turns. You just can't, because there's no way to extend the game.
Right.
So once you're done, you're done.
Right.
And that's kind of nice. You have limited, like, you can plan out for all X number of turns, whatever the scenarios are dictating. Mm-hmm. And that's it. That's it. There's nothing more. There's nothing you have. Over. You put out a little piece, you do your thing. Now it's the next player's turn. He pulls his piece off, we put out another piece, whatever. And that's just all that. But there's so much more to it, obviously, than just that. But it doesn't take long to think. You have X number of places on the board you can put your guy.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that.
Well, and that was the whole issue with the whole chess problem was, like, if given enough time, it's impossible to make the wrong move.
Right. Well, not for me. I like to make the wrong move. I like chess, but people don't like playing against me because I don't do chess the way they want me to. I am more I'm not good at it, but I'm more like the street hustler. Try to hurry people.
Oh yeah,
I just like to play. I'm terrible at it. I usually get beat. A good chess player who beat me in round 3, easy every time.
Yeah,
because I don't think that far ahead. But then I played against a good chess player one time. And they're like, "Why are you doing that?"
It throws them off.
Because that's what I want to play.
Yeah.
Why? I'm just playing. I don't know anything about chess. You're lying to me. No, I don't. You spend 3 hours arguing with them. Like, just play the game. Hit the little button.
The way I played chess is I used to play. I was actually taught with a timer how to play chess.
Well, that's probably the best way to learn.
And what I do, I brought this a lot into a lot of board games I play. Mm-hmm. I make very snap decisions because I know what I'm going to do on that turn.
Right.
Because I use my opponent's time to think about what I'm going to do.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Like Magic's a great example of it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking more on the opponent's turn than on
your
own.
Turn. Yeah. By the time it gets to your turn, you already know what you're going to do because you've watched 3 players go.
And I also know, basically, I watch the other players more than myself. Wow, we're getting into the game theory here.
Game theory game.
If you watch other people and you have an understanding of the game, based on how they're playing, you know what their game plan is, and therefore you can beat their game plan because you already know what it is.
Right.
And I like games that allow for that.
That's why you can't beat me in Magic, because I don't have a game plan. Ha.
I'm pretty sure I beat you most times in Magic.
You beat me a couple times anyway.
Yeah.
We'll just go with that.
Okay.
Yep. I'm the best Magic player ever.
Yeah, I mean, co-op board games are also really fun. You have games like Pandemic, Zombicide.
Oh, yep. Yeah, actually, that's kind of been getting the growing thing lately is the co-op board games. It's been pretty popular, at least in my play group, not my store group. Well, even my store group's been kind of favoring that a little bit. But my family groups and stuff. It's because it's really hard to get butthurt off it.
Yeah.
Like, you can't get people salty, and nobody really wants to make their own.
The only time a cooperative board game goes poorly is if you have what I like to call the architect playing, where they want the game to be done a specific way.
Yeah.
Because that's their plan. Well, you can't account for that.
No, you can't.
You always it goes back to the whole Dungeons and Dragons thing of like it's a social thing.
Yeah.
You have to allow everybody to make their own independent decisions and trust that as a group you will complete the objective.
No, I agree on that 100%.
And if you're not playing co-op board games like that, I'm sorry, but you're doing it wrong.
No, I agree 100%. When you play a co-op board game and you want to be the winner, I mean, there are games. Legendary is a really good example of that. You're playing, and same thing with the DC one.
DC deck builder.
Deck builder games, which I consider board games too, because I play them on a table, but they're cooperative, but you still want to have the most points, so you could be the winner, but you could be the winner of the winners, because if you win, the whole table's essentially winning because you beat the game. But then you're the one that won.
So it's a not so fair bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and see, I like Sentinels of the Multiverse as my deck builder. It's not even a deck builder, really.
Right.
But it's basically like you are co-op. There is no winner. There is no points.
Right.
Everybody has a role to play, and you have to play it, or you will lose.
Or you lose, yeah. No, they're fun games. I like those ones.
Actually, it's probably one of the best cooperative games I've ever played as far as making people work together.
Yeah.
Because you can't, if you're the DPS, you can't just sit back and DPS.
Right.
Sometimes you have to pass your turn, play a certain card that does nothing this turn, but might help next turn.
Yep.
Sometimes you have to forfeit your turn to make somebody else's turn more beneficial. It's a good game.
Yeah. Yeah, Legendary is a lot like that. You'll be fighting the bosses, and when the bosses are so powerful that if one person doesn't take care of something on the table, even if it's a detriment to their points, because I've done it many times where I'm like, I could take these three out here, these three villains, get their points, but then the boss next round is going to hammer us all.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be the most points, so I'm going to be the winner. But we're going to lose the game. You're like...
So it's winning together.
Yeah, because you really want to win together, because that's the whole point of the game.
Yeah.
So you're like, shoot, I don't want to be that guy that just shafts the whole team. I guess I'll take one for the team. I'll lose some points. Yep. I like that kind of game. There've been fun ways to building up. I like it. It's been pretty fun.
Yeah, so that's just a few of our favorite board games and party games and things played on a tabletop.
Yeah, things played on a tabletop. You want to add anything?
All right, fine.
Oh, we got him.
How about you're talking about your favorite board game? What about your worst favorite?
Oh, like the worst experience I've had on the board game?
Yeah. Or a board game you just hate.
Board games I just hate. I hate board games. God dang. Oh, that's a tough one.
You just can't play no matter what. You just didn't like it.
Wow, that's a good one. I've played a lot of board games in my life.
Catan.
No, you don't play Catan.
I hate Catan.
Wow.
Another question is why?
I hate Catan because everyone gangs up on me because they always expect me to win.
There you go. Well, I mean, that's fair.
Also, I'm Catan is a game that should be played cutthroat, but it's not. And I have a fundamental disagreement with how it's played.
Cool, Catan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is still a competitive game.
It is a competitive game. Not still, it is a competitive game. Competition is what Catan is all about.
Right. Well, competition is what most games are about. They should be anyway. But
there's way too much politicking and
is it like Scythe where you have to, where you don't have to have combat, where you don't have to.
There's no combat.
With each other?
No, it's all about resource bargaining and dealing with other humans.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I haven't played enough Catan.
Oh god, I despise Catan. Anyone's like, "Oh, we should play Catan." I just want to hit that person. Like honestly, I hate that game.
God, man, I can't think of it. No, okay. Checkers. I hate checkers.
Why?
Because there's so much to checkers that I don't understand. And every time I think I understand the game, somebody comes up with something new that... And maybe they're lying to me. I don't know.
You don't like checkers.
I don't like checkers. I
don't understand it, but you can play chess.
Yeah, well, chess is definitely, your pieces are definitely restricted in chess.
Yeah,
In checkers, somebody takes one piece and they're all over the table and they're back on their side. You're like, how'd you do that? I can't do that. Well, you just didn't do that. It's too far. I don't like the game.
Yeah.
I don't play checkers at all. I maybe played 2 games in my entire life.
Yeah.
Which seems silly, but
you like where they jump checkers. 5 of your pieces and all of a sudden they scream at you.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I just don't like checkers. I've never really liked that game.
Interesting.
Which seems weird, but it's just one of those games I don't like playing.
Yeah.
I can't think of too many games I don't like. Well, yeah, no.
The Catan's my only one. I really don't like Catan.
Gosh.
It's like when you get really drunk on a specific alcohol and then you just get sick on it and then you can't ever do that alcohol again. That was Catan for me.
Hot 100. I didn't get sick of it, but I came pretty close. But I woke up the next morning knowing I was never going to eat cinnamon again. That's for sure. And I still to this day don't really like cinnamon, so there you are. But yeah, I don't know. How about you?
What game do I hate?
Yeah.
Oh boy. I don't play a lot of board games to really know which ones they hate. I'd say the Coop game itself, the Coup game.
Coup game, yeah.
It's a card game, but I hated it.
Yeah, that's not a game for everybody. If you're not a game, I guess I don't really like those games anymore either.
I'm a cooperative player. I can't play Coop.
Like the whole lie, steal, and bargain to break treaties, no matter what.
I love that.
Yeah, no, I mean it's. I guess with the right group, it probably wouldn't be so bad, but I don't know. I just got to this point, and I just don't like doing it anymore. It's just too much energy to try and keep track of all the lies. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
My kid's good at it, though, so I can cheer her on. She obviously is doing pretty good. She's got 13. No, wait. 13 coup wins, so that's pretty good. She's the leader right now in coup.
Oh, wow. I'm pretty sure every time it's played, she's the one there playing it.
Yeah, she's played every time except for one, I think.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I guess, wow. Good call. Good call, G.
It's Garth.
Garth, okay. Well, I didn't know if we want to use your name or not, so we make up names for people. Usually it's Gamer Joe.
Yeah, Gamer Joe's the generic.
He's kind of the generic. It could be anybody, any of our gamers.
We've had Gamer Joe represent like 7 different people.
Yeah, right. In fact, he might have represented you at one point.
He definitely represented himself at one point.
Yeah, no, he did represent himself at one
point. I'll leave it to the listeners to figure out which time that was.
Yeah. But alrighty, that's a good one. Anything else you want to add, Garth?
My favorite game, probably.
Oh, sure.
What is it?
It's Risk.
Oh,
Risk?
Yeah, it's actually a really fun, solid game.
It's one of the first board games I learned to play, and it was the older one with the Roman numerals.
Oh, yeah.
And it was with my dad and my siblings.
Right. And it's not it's a competitive game that relies on chance.
It's not because of the game, it was because of how the environment that I was in when I learned the game.
Yep. Yeah, it's a nostalgia thing.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
That's probably why Dungeon's your favorite.
Yeah. That could be.
An actual competitive game I can play.
Yeah. Well, I to be fair, I do really like Risk. Because all it takes is a guy who can't roll bad. That's all it takes. You could play the worst starting team and have two defenders. And I could come marching in with my 20. And if I can't roll good, the 20 guy, the 2 defenders win every time. Just because that guy just rolls 6s constantly. Yeah. And so he's just the winner. And I like that odd little twist, the chance of the game. Not a lot of games have a heavy chance like that.
I like the fact that I learned to play it with the Roman numerals when I didn't know what Roman numerals
were.
I learned not only the board game, but what Roman numerals were.
Exactly. You learned all kinds of stuff on that's a good game. I like that game.
Well, I think that's it for this week.
Alrighty. So, thanks for joining us. Thanks for actually speaking up there, Garth.
You got me.
Gotcha. All right. Until next time.
That's it.